I'm alive! Quoting Dr. Frankenstein. It's funny how people call the monster Frankenstein. It was the doctor that was Frankenstein. His name was just Elmer J. Monster. You can bet on that. Man. I have to sort this just constant fatigue out. You know, yesterday we had one of these alternating good days. It was sunny, it was warm. I got out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is wonderful because this time of year, what time does it get dark? Pert near 8 o'clock in the evening. And man, I was so tired, I was just freaking dizzy tired. So it's been a struggle to work through like the projects that I need to work through. Paddleboat didn't turn out as like I wish. You know, sometimes you eat the bear and sometimes the bear eats you. But it'll be a good reminder. I'm going to tack it up there with a little note on it. Not going to get into that stuff. But I've got the weekend off. So even if I collapse on the couch when I get home from work, Friday, truck day, basically the hardest day of the week just because of the physicality. You know, and I also have to do an order, guessing the future, what I need for Monday's truck. You know, it's a young man's sport, and I'm an old man. Funny, though. Pardon me. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe I've got allergies, and it's affecting me, because you notice I'm always sniffling. And that can play a part in it. But we shall see. A couple things I can do. De-stress, which is possible now because I am a born-again produce manager. I actually, now that I saw what it's like to work with somebody I can't stand, who was just a snarly individual, went back to the store where it's like visiting friends. We all really like each other there. It's like cohesive. Even the big boss, Lawrence, who I like to call him Lawrence because he doesn't like it. He likes being called Larry. So a contemporary, same age as me, a fellow old gray-haired man. So we've got a good thing going on, you know, as far as our dynamic is a little different than like a younger cashier. I'm going to count my blessings. You know, I was thinking yesterday, actually, produce managing is an extremely interesting job because you've got so many things to balance. You know, managing what's on the shelves, rotation, FIFO, you know, and ordering. And no one messes with me. You know, I'm like looking around and I'm basically autonomous because I run my own department and I'm now kept getting into my stride and doing, I should say, a pretty darn good job. And so take a break whenever I want, which I don't abuse that, you know. No one messes with me. I'm the master of my domain, which is different than running a park, but still it's in that field of endeavor where no one messes with you. I like it. Plus I get to chat. They like that I talk to customers, and boy, I've got like everyone eventually in Rogers City winds up there, so it's a good way to be. Got my circle of friends, which is pretty large at this point, and they even said they missed me when I was gone. Where were you? So that's good. I really do have to watch myself because I am extremely binary, and I'm not talking about the male-female thing. I'm talking about my, what do you call it, default of right and wrong. There are gray areas and everything, but, you know, by and large, you know, in many cases, right and wrong. You know, I've got a sticker. It was the 20th Field Artillery's motto. You know, everything has mottos, right? And you're in this, you're in that, you know, and you've got a motto. You know, the overall Army one is this: we shall defend. Words to live by. Taking care of your own before you decide to give away what you have. Not that you're not compassionate, but charity begins at home. you know, everything is like running your household. There's a finite number of resources, and if you give it all away, everyone suffers. So take care of your own, and then give. You know, but the motto, duty not reward. And so I've got the 20th Field Artillery sticker right up there. Now it's rockets and space stuff. You know, they've gotten away from howitzers and cannons. You know, I'm old school. I don't want, if I want to shoot off rockets, I'll go to the park and shoot off Estes rockets. I love the whoomph, you know, of a howitzer. Standing on the deck and pulling that lanyard and just feeling it like you got popped in the chest. Put the cap to the collimator, wrong way so the opening is towards the tube. Shockwave is so great it'll send it flying. I love that. There's no rush like sitting or standing on the deck of an 8-inch howitzer and pulling that lanyard. Actually, it would be like this. And just feeling that 87,000 pound or whatever it is, it's been a long time, beast jumping into the air and the spade catching it. You know, and if you stand at the right angle, you can see that 203 millimeter round going out 19 miles. Can you imagine it? You're sitting here and you watch it shooting out 19 miles. I can say it's not much of a thrill. I can't talk about this. But when you're in proximity to the impact zone, you know, it's like you just went through you've just gone through an earthquake. It's pretty impressive in a not good way. But yeah, taking that oath 3 times, 3 enlistments, you know. Defend this great nation of ours against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You know, it's take it seriously. Anyway, I'm looking at, I got away from this without having to say I'm going to delete this because I started swearing. But I'm looking at my projects here. Secret Project Bow X, another bow of your familiarity, and 3 more things. And I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not going to trap myself. You know, but it's exciting stuff. And this weekend, I had this weekend off, like I said, and make some progress on the bows. Of course, you know, Michigan. It's a nice day today. It's kind of scuzzy tomorrow. This weekend's supposed to be kind of grim, but not super cold, so I can work on my shaving horse in the garage under the cover of darkness. It's weird, you know. I did a video that I dissolved into the ether yesterday, and I was mentioning, you know, how many times have we gone to the party store, gas station, grocery store, whatever, and we see people buying so many scratch-offs. The people that can least afford it are just spending all their money on scratch-offs. Scratch-offs and whatever. You know, trying to catch that golden ring. So I thought, you know, I'm going to be lucky. I'm going to buy a scratch-off. I'm going to invest in a scratch-off, which I didn't. You know, I look at it and it's like, nah, I'm not going to spend 5, 10, 20 bucks on a scratch-off. I could better spend that somewhere else and I will lose. It's like, what would I do if I actually won? It's kind of a fun little game, you know. As long as you temper it with not spending all your grocery money on scratch-offs. It's like, what would I do? Well, first of all, pay off the house. Everyone would do that. Then I'd share it with my kids. You know, release them from the fetters of being 63 and, you know, having to work forever. Maybe have it set so they're not going to receive it until they're 50, though. You need to suffer a little bit. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean, to appreciate things. So I'm in my learning to appreciate things when I finally get them phase. You know, you got to be optimistic about this stuff. I would take, and some of you may think this is insane. Some of you may not. The smart people will think this is wise. You nut jobs will think this is crazy. Yeah, I'm committing myself here. I'd take my '07 Silverado, because I'm a millionaire at this point. You know, I can get whatever vehicle I want. And I'll have somebody do a frame up restoration. Yeah, I don't want to part with that truck. It's a great truck. In fact, I've got an old Krakow radio with a tape deck. I would get rid of that touchscreen malarkey and put my old Krakow on with the knobs and the little push buttons and the tape deck. Oh yeah. My wife doesn't like this, but I would buy one of those compasses that old men have that you stick onto the dash. Got to have one of those things. Fill out my roster of paper maps. You know it. And then what else? I'd pay somebody else to make the shutters on the front of the house, because I have to make bows now. And I would donate quite a bit to the Humane Society. I would. What else? And I'd buy a huge patch of property in town. Deb was like, that's my wife. I'm doxing her. You mean you wouldn't want to move? And it's like, nah, I like Rogers City. We've got the rivers, got the lakes. Get a Grand Laker canoe with a nice motor on it. Buy a huge patch of property so I can disappear in the woods. Make sure it doesn't get developed into whatever. Oh, that's about it. It's 7:30. I actually slept until 6. Because today will be a rough one. And not psychologically, although I will be, running around and planning what I need to order at the end of the day for Monday. It's just basically sheerly physical. It's like going to the gym. That's how I keep my youthful figure. Oh, I'd sure love to show you the secret Project X here, but I'm not gonna, because it's a replacement ball. It goes into phases. Sometimes I'm doing well. I'm riding the wave, And other times it's like I still get, bows that fail. The ratio is in my favor now, but sometimes, things run in waves. Oh. 2 bad bows. I'll say it. I'm not going to be coy about this. 2 bad bows, which are bows that did not, succeed in a row, which is a lot. Hopefully things don't run in 3s. That's why I'm going to be uber careful now. That's, that up there, that tillering tree, and overdrawing stuff to make sure it's going to be good. Well, I'm going to enjoy the morning. The birdies are singing. There's still freaking snow on the ground. It all melted off a few days ago and then came back. We're supposed to get 4 to 8 inches of snow possibly this weekend. March comes in like a lamb and goes out like a monster. Like a sun-o-bee. It is all. It is more than enough.